Good Friday afternoon. Victor, you're here.
Hey,
And today is April Fool's Day, but
yeah,
I'm not smart enough to come up with anything about April Fools. My machine has been fooling me for the past 24 hours.
it,
I,
I
I'm
thought
just
it's
done with
much longer than 24 hours.
the.
I
So
think your machine is fooling you since the previous April Fool's Day.
potentially, yeah, it was. So this is one of the downsides of not upgrading very often. I finally hit the operation not permitted in Mac OS, which was introduced in Catalina. So I haven't been running anything since Catalina. Before Catalina, let's put it that way. So it's just very annoying. What is going on there? Oh, you've got something. What is right off to your right hand shoulder? Oh,
This
it's the white. What is the white?
a keyboard,
Okay.
which
Yeah,
is sometimes used when I shouldn't be loud.
right. I just saw something there and I couldn't see what. I see one like pixel width going down the screen. It's like, what is that? Anyway, by the way, if you don't know who we are, my name is Darren Pope. This over here is Victor Farsick, and we are the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. Comes out on Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern. Fridays, we do this thing at usually 1 p.m. Eastern. It's now 7 p.m. CET. I'm glad we're back in sync. This is the first week for that, too. And we just hang out on Fridays and talk about the news of the week. It wasn't that much this week. Only a
No?
lot. Well,
Only
there's-
a lot.
There were a couple of minor security things announced this week. We won't talk about those. I don't like talking about security things unless it's just sort of
'Cause
like
it's happening every day.
it is. But these were big, but like, that's not where we spend most of our time. Get your drink out if you don't have your drink. Have you gotten your drink yet?
No,
You just came out of a
no
meeting.
drinks. Fridge, empty fridge. I need to do something about it after this.
You mean, well, typically you would just get online and order it and have it delivered during, but
Yeah, I will. I'm waiting for you to go and start talking about news. Then I'll
then
order.
you'll start ordering. Yeah, I have to go grocery. I was supposed to go grocery shopping last weekend and I just didn't. So I have to do it this weekend. All right, let's just get into it. By the way, I've ignored all the people that are here with us live today. Engine. See, I do this every week. Somebody, please help me.
I don't know. I'm guessing engine, but
Okay, and that's usually what you guess. Let's see what else. Why is that not going? Okay, Sebastian, good to see you. And he said, yeah, I don't trust anybody today. I trust most people. Chris, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. Hey, new name.
Oh, I dare you to try that one.
Last name Janos.
That's no, that's
And that's not even right either, is it?
huh? I'm
Domboros-
guessing Domborowski Janos. That's my best
Janos.
guess.
Okay, good.
I'm guessing.
Let's bring this back. What is in the chest? I've never asked you that either. The one behind you.
I never opened it.
Can you
My
open
wife
it?
put it. My girlfriend put it there. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Cables.
Cables. Look at this. I have a Western Digital drive. Okay, so now I know what I need to throw to trash. Leave the
So-
chest. Throw everything inside to trash.
So basically, she got tired of seeing it out on the top and just brought that in and dumped it all in.
Yeah, she's
Maybe.
probably finding stuff, random stuff floating around, and putting it there.
I did see this about Grafana, and I'm not going to try the last name either. Mimir. Did you see that earlier?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the open source project of the week. I'll bring it up in a few
Okay.
minutes. We'll take a look at it. I didn't put it on the list. Okay, good. It's Ingen, not Engine. Okay, got it. Good. Thank you very much. We will bring up that Grafana thing because I saw that right before and I hadn't added it in yet. So let's get into the news. Podcast this week was, dare we call it a case study? Maybe? That sounds so corporate.
Probably.
Except we didn't write it. We had two people on from Pipedrive. Pipedrive, yes.
That's good that you just said because until now I was faking it as if I know what we recorded.
It's been
As
a
if
few
I
weeks.
remember. Sorry.
This is with Diago and Ragnar from Pipedrive, who's Stefan,
Yeah,
who's one
yeah.
of the regular people over in the Slack workspace. By the way, if you haven't joined up in the Slack workspace, go do that. Stefan works at Pipedrive, and he recommended these two guys come on. And the extreme short of it is they're using DevSpace. DevSpace, is it with an extra S on the end or not? I can't remember. Do you remember?
No.
Jeez. Oh, I know you don't remember recording it, but DevSpaces, isn't that a platform from
This is the DevSpace, yeah, but I don't remember from who. I want to say Loft, but maybe I'm wrong.
That sounds right. But anyway,
No, I don't think it is. Anyways,
not Loft.
DevSpace.
Okay. DevSpace. So that's and you've done a video about it before, and it's been a
yeah.
while. But how they're building out their platform on top of that, and how they're using it, and in certain cases not using it. So it was interesting having that kind of real back and forth on something that you know a little bit about it, I know even less about it, and see how people are actually using it. It's always interesting to hear people adopting projects, and sometimes the product, because there is a paid version of that as well. That just how it's going. Because I don't always want to be what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. What's the word you're looking for?
Crash test dummy.
How can anybody know what's the word you're looking for if you never
I
told
don't
us?
know. Crash test dummy. I don't always want to be the crash test dummy. I don't want to do that. So anyway, that was this week. All right. So there used to be, and the company still exists. There used to be this company called Docker, and again, still exists. And there used to be people at this company called Docker that have gone off and created a new company that also begins with a D.
Yeah.
That's also 6 letters.
Digger.
Dagger.
Is it Dagger? I thought this was Digger. Yeah, I'm always
it's
mixing
Dagger.
those two. Yeah, Dagger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they GA'd this week out of private beta, and introducing Dagger, a new way to create CI/CD pipelines. I'll talk some more about that after a while. But what's funny, not funny in a ha-ha way, but interesting, under the hood, Dagger's powered by two of the most exciting technologies. Okay, anytime I see the word exciting technology and cloud native, I just go running because marketing. BuildKit and Q. Okay, BuildKit. We like BuildKit. BuildKit can do lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But Q. I'm still trying to get my head around Q.
Is it? It's like that. What they were saying at the beginning of Superman episode. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? I don't know. It could be either of the two things. Same thing with Q. I don't know. It's kind of like more complicated than YAML, more programming language, but not a programming language. But maybe it is a programming language. I don't know. It's very powerful. I give you that. But it's kind of it's like Go templating on like a templating solution on steroids with more programming instructions type of stuff. Strange. But hey, Google came up with it, so therefore it must be good.
Google came up with Q?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I might be wrong. But there's Google somewhere in my head around Q.
Really?
Yeah.
My guess would be maybe. I don't know. I guess I could ask.
You might never know.
I could ask Google.
No. Toyota volunteers. No, that cannot be that Q. That cannot be that Q.
Here, let's look at Q. Let's go here for a second. We're not going to really look at Q. Let's see. Oh, come on, people. When you're a language, this is not an officially supported Google product. Okay, yes, so it came out of Google because it has this line. Thank you.
And what does that teach you? That whatever I say is always right. Isn't that the lessons learned we just learned today?
Based on what you just said, the answer is yes. Because whatever you say is right, so therefore I have to agree with it.
Exactly. You're getting it.
I don't know that I'm getting it. We'll see. So anyway, Dagger is out and in GA now, and I haven't played with it yet. I know some people that have been playing with it. They also got a new round of funding this week. Series A. I can't remember the value.
Nice.
Let's look at the value. 20 million in Series A.
Nice figure.
Okay. That will get you to Chipotle and beyond Taco Bell. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It might even get you down to a sit-down restaurant that's Mexican. You may even
Exactly.
take you one step beyond that.
You never know.
Here's what I thought was interesting. Not that it's interesting again. I use that word probably incorrectly a lot. Y Combinator, not surprising. Nat Friedman, former CEO of GitHub. Brian Stevens, formerly of Everywhere. Edith Levine, Julius Volz, creator of Prometheus. Ellen Powell, former CEO of Reddit. Daniel Lopez, co-founder of Bitnami, and others. So, 20 million.
They're
Enjoy the
good at
tacos.
generating. I haven't tried it yet, but they're very good at generating buzz. It was closed beta until recently, and I was hearing about it. And I was nervous. How can I repeatedly hear about something and not try it?
Have you tried it yet?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay.
I was not aware that it went out to private beta.
It came out
And I don't
yesterday.
like private betas, kind of like, hey, put your email here and maybe we will kind of,
Yeah.
I think it should be always open beta, to be honest.
But anyway, that is Dagger. Let me get over all the new tabs opened up. Oh, this is what we're talking about. So this is a thread that started back in June of 2019 when Google, Starin is the product owner of Google Cloud Run. This thread has been ongoing. And now they've added a new metric to calculate cold starts. Sounds boring, right? Are you even interested in this?
I am, but it's kind of like you cannot calculate it simply because it depends vastly on what you have in your containers, right? I mean, how much does it take to create a container? Close to nothing. How much does it take to start the process inside of your container? If it's WebSphere, 7 hours.
Well, no, to start that process is, again, minuscule. For that process to start to completely start
Oh, yeah,
is
to be operational, yes.
to be
exactly,
operational.
Exactly.
And that's what this is. It's the time between an instance is started, so that container's here. I'm at the first line, if you will, and until it says is running.
Yeah.
So then, because it's this metric that you do have control over.
Exactly. That's something you can do about.
Yeah. What you can't do is the metric between the container and when the container is here.
Yeah.
So, okay. So if you're using Google Cloud Run, you now have a new metric. It'll probably cost you $50 every time you use the metric. But hey, you've got it now. I don't remember. I don't think their cost for metrics are as bad as AWS. We were speaking of the other D word. Docker raised Series C this week.
Again.
$105 million. $105 million. Series C.
Nice.
And again, the names, this time, unlike the Dagger one, which is what you would expect for an A, these names are the typical C and higher. Bain Capital. They added in Atlassian, Citi, Vertex, Four Rivers, and then some other people jumped back in too, Benchmark, Insight, and Tribe. Why do they need $105 million? To finish building out BuildKit?
No, I mean, I'm not following Docker very closely for a while now, so I don't know what they're building. If the plan did not change since I did follow it, it's more about developer productivity or experience. Something on your laptop, which is good. I think that kind of, I was very negative towards Docker very often, But Docker recognizing, and this is not happening now, but happened a year ago or something like that, recognizing that, hey, all that production is not for us. We're going to focus on developer experience of sorts. That's a good thing.
Well, Sebastian brings up, it's going to get more features. I could care less. I'm not using Docker Desktop.
But if you are kind of like, what are the features they're missing? I mean, theoretically, it could be something completely unrelated to Docker Desktop, but Docker Desktop as if, hey, containers running in your laptop, I mean, we have all the features, give or take, that we need, right? Now, I'm guessing that those must be some features that are not really directly related with Docker Desktop. Core function.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the items like, so the Snyk integration is there. The two container integrations, ECS and ACI.
I'm not excited about those. I think that
I'm
I
not
like
either,
Docker
but-
staying on my laptop, kind of like.
Right. I agree, but I'm just thinking, okay, what is it that I really need? And
very often you don't know what you need until you get it.
iPhone anyone?
iPhone, exactly.
I
That's
wish
it.
Mac Studio. Anyway. Also, this week was Docker's 9th birthday.
Yay.
So anyway.
Okay, so this is the thing, kind of like if Docker is resetting financing, now they're Series C again. Maybe if they resetted everything, then maybe they should reset the years as well. Maybe it's actually third year or something like
Right. You get a round a year. That's what you get. Maybe
You
a
should
faster
change the
Docker Hub
company. It should be maybe Docker Reborn. That should be
Remixed.
the name.
Docker Remix.
Reborn.
Reborn. Okay. Hey, if I'm lagging, if my internet goes out again, we had storms yesterday and the ground is wet, and anytime the wind blows where I live, I lose internet. And no, it's not Starlink. Rancher Desktop is enough for me as well. You know what? I just upgraded to Big Sur a couple of weeks ago, and I wouldn't have if my machine hadn't taken a dump. But I can't even justify installing Rancher Desktop right now
But
because of
man,
how I do my workflow.
What folks behind Rancher Desktop are doing is absolutely amazing. Every time I open it, I don't open. Actually, I open desktop application of Rancher Desktop only to reset my cluster. I don't think that there is a CLI command. And every time I restart, I see something new. Kind of, maybe I didn't pay attention, but now all of a sudden there is a dashboard. Dashboard baked in, and it looks okay. Kind of like they're really going with speed that is absolutely incredible.
Maybe I should install it while I still have disk space available on my machine.
I mean, you need something.
No, I don't.
Like your Raspberry Pis.
No. Well, okay. I use Vagrant boxes.
Okay, this is going to use less than Vagrant boxes. I guarantee you that.
Probably so. But see, I'm setting up and tearing down stuff all the time, and that's just
Fair enough.
how I do it. So if I ever get back to the day-to-day stuff, I might install it locally. Anyway, Docker, $105 million. So we have Dagger bringing in 20A. We have Docker bringing in 105C. I think that's all we have today. I expect this next company to be bringing in money big time too. Even though SigStore is not the company is ChainGuard, where we have friends at. But SigStore, they just give sort of like, this is their month in review. The first couple were like, okay, that's fine. That's good information. But I got into community news, and these two items were like, wow. So Maven Central is going to be integrating SigStore. That's a big deal. And also, Harbor supports cosign, signing, and verification built in to Harbor. If I had Harbor running, I'd flip the switch and it's like, it's not signed, you're not living here. You're gone.
Yep. Putting more and more pressure on companies that have registry projects, which is good. Pressure is good.
Well, so registry projects is one thing, and you can treat Maven Central as a registry as well, because it is.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be putting pressure on the vendors to start
That's what I
signing
meant,
everything.
vendor, like
yeah.
JFrogs of the world, Artifactories of the world.
No, I'm talking about the people putting things into those registries.
Oh yeah, okay. I got you now. Yeah, exactly.
It's
yeah.
both sides of it. Now it's like as soon as you can get
Yes.
it in there and you can enforce, okay, it's live now, and you can't store anything here without it having been signed by. Think about it, cosign is genius.
I mean, the key there is to get to the level of some technology or concept that it's so easy that there is no excuse not to do it, right? Usually at the beginning, kind of some companies force people to do like signing in the past, and signing was painful, right? I didn't want to sign everything because it's painful. But when it gets to this level, it's easy, then there is no excuse. You get fired. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and cosign is super simple to work with. Super simple to work with. And then they're going to be at. Are you going to KubeCon EU? Are you physically going?
Wait. EU? Yes. I was confused with 2021 over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a short drive from where I am.
Valencia is a short drive.
I mean, short drive, like 3 hours.
3 or 4 hours. Oh, okay. Yeah,
3-4 hours. I mean, it's not short, but
Yeah.
short enough that it's not worth the plane.
Not worth flying. Exactly.
Not worth flying.
Yeah. What is your cutoff right now to go off a different rabbit trail? In other words, how far are you willing to drive before you actually get on a plane?
4 hours.
4 is your cutoff?
Yeah, might be maybe 5.
Depending on where
maybe.
you're going?
Yeah. I think that now within the area where I am, from where I live in Barcelona, I would say 3-4 hours car drive, maybe 5-6 hours train, and beyond that plane.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I am, because I always have to factor in, okay, once I land in an airport, how far do I have to drive to where I'm going?
Yeah,
Because
airport.
that counts.
Exactly. I mean, 4-hour drive wouldn't be shorter with the plane, really.
No.
By the time you get to the airport, you need to be there early, blah, blah, blah. Same.
Going to QCOM virtually or physically?
I'm going physically, so
You'll go
if
physically.
you're there,
I won't go anywhere. Yeah, go look him up because he'll be there.
Yeah.
Do you have
if
a
you
booth?
don't know, yeah, we have a booth. Yeah, so
Okay.
you can ping me. Anybody can ping me, or you can pass by the booth, or organizing. Still not ready to announce, but there will be a free party, free drinks type of stuff organized by us. So that might be
Us-
the reason to come.
Us being your company, Upbound.
My company
not
and
me
a few
you.
other,
Yeah.
a few other companies. Yes. I'm not paid well enough to actually pay all KubeCon drinks.
Okay. So I thought, again, the top part of this was, yeah, that's good, interesting. But seeing, and I'd already seen the Maven entry from somewhere else. But then to Harbor is like, at some point soon, everything's got to be signed. It'll be good. We're talking about Maven. Maven turned 20 this week. 20.
Oh man,
That's all I needed to know.
that's more than most people have been in this industry.
Moving along. Okay. Garden. I saw this week. And I wanted to... I don't know what I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Their tagline is, go cloud native without the trade-offs. It doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. So you need Kubernetes, but your developers are stuck fighting the tools. Basically, this looks... It's an end-to-end cloud delivery platform. Bottom line, right? So is this
Yeah.
yet another Argo-ish type thing?
I mean, I might be wrong. It's been a while since I looked at it, but I think it's a collection of projects, essentially, right? So kind of, hey, take this open source or not open source for this for that, and so on and so forth. I have very mixed feelings about those types of projects, kind of. You know, if somebody, I think that those types of projects maybe should be services, because if I have something that helps me install a bunch of tools that I can install myself, then yeah, it saves me a bit of time in installation, nothing more. I
Yeah.
might be wrong, so I haven't spent enough with Garden, so don't take this as.
Because you never did a video on Garden that I can remember.
No, not yet. I have it on
Okay.
my list, but
They did raise 16 million in A, so that's not shabby. But the reason why I brought this up, I saw it in a feed, one of my feeds this week, and this picture was one of the primary reasons. It was like, oh, I've got fill in the blank. I can have a garden workflow. I can have custom workflows. It goes into a test namespace, and off it goes. Or I'm using it and I'm just interacting with it. I mean, here's a new continuous hands-on support.
CHS.
Okay, I will poke fun at anybody, including people I work for, about using continuous too much. The one thing I did like about these guys, I will give them this, or at least their marketing team this. So here at the bottom, they have 4 DevOps SREs and platform teams for application developers, for managers, and team leads. That's a nice slicing of how this platform, if you want to call it a platform, how Garden applies to each of these groups. Not
Yeah,
everybody
that's
does a
nice.
good job of doing this. And they did a really good job of basically getting it down to 3 bullets each time.
Yeah, but you know, kind of like this is nothing to do with Garden. Kind of,
No.
I'm questioning how useful this type of information that absolutely every vendor has is useful. Kind of like, yeah, okay, I read this. No more glue code and custom tooling, speed up pipelines, blah blah blah. I still don't understand. I'm not any cleverer than I was.
Correct. But at least here it's like, oh, I associate myself with this group of people, so this is how this would work for me. I don't necessarily have to be smarter, but if I read this and it's like, I'm already doing all this. Right? It doesn't push Garden to the top, or fill in the blank vendor to the top, or fill in the blank project to the top. It may stay in the middle towards the bottom. Versus if there's a line there, like you were saying, it's like, that would cause me to escalate.
That's one thing I noticed actually like 3 days ago or something like that. I was going through yet another project. And the moment I opened for the first time homepage, I saw docs link and went to docs. And then I started thinking, hey, actually, when was the last time I spent more than a second or two on a homepage of something? And I don't remember.
I had this exact...
I'm not saying that this is everybody, but kind of, my brain completely ignores these homepages with all that,
Scroll.
that, yeah, and kind of straight to docs.
Yep.
Even if I'm not going to run it myself, straight to docs and take a look. Quick start. Okay, where is quick start? Blah blah blah. Okay, now I get it. Kind of, and now
Yep.
I get the idea. Just reading quick start, not even trying quick start.
Yep. I had that exact same conversation with some people internally this week. It's like, look, I appreciate the homepage, right? It's like, if I happen to scroll at all, it's rare. What I'm doing is I'm looking for docs as quickly as I can. And once I land on docs, I'm looking for quick start, just like you said. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I don't care about community. I don't care about the blog. Pricing, I might click over just to see what it is, right? Just to, is it a loaf of bread, or do I have to buy the whole truck? I don't know.
I don't look for it intentionally, but if it's very visible pricing, I sometimes click there before
Yeah, just to see
docs.
what it, and
Kind
I
of
can see here it's
okay,
like
so free,
core
not
cloud
free,
enterprise.
blah blah blah.
Yeah. So I got open source. I got get in touch. So that means I've got to talk to a salesperson. I've got to talk to a salesperson if I want to spend. That's okay. I mean, it's at least I know. There's no surprises. So I do like that transparency. I did have their link, and it's buried in the show notes, which will be out tomorrow. And they go into a lot more detail about all the different use cases. So And they're up to, where are they at now? 0.12. So it looks like some of these are old, 4 years old. License is 4 years old. But it seems to be very active. I'll put it that way. So that's Garden IO. All right, so I got a handful of tools here. Detector for Docker socket. Don't say that too many times fast. So
TDS. Okay.
It's a plugin, a kubectl plugin. Finally, not a standalone app. It's a kubectl plugin that will tell you if any of your existing workloads are mounting Docker socket. This is to get in front of 124 and the removal of Docker shim.
Nice.
This could be really useful for people that are like vendors, in case people are doing bad things with your product inside of a cluster that they shouldn't be. So it's just a nice little plugin. Install it with Crew and go.
If you're using, this is now a recommendation for everybody, if you're using this plugin to deduce whether there are containers with Docker socket, pods with Docker socket mounted and stuff like that, make sure to do it when there is most internal activity going on. Very important, because most of Docker socket mounts are not in a long-running processes. They're in pipelines, most. And you might easily run this and say, no socket mounted, because nothing is running at that moment, no pipeline.
I agree. This is one of those things that you'll be wanting to sample all times of day and night, I think.
Because if you're mounting a socket in your pipeline, in your pods that are running as pipeline builds, that's something you need to fix. If you're mounting a socket, or even better, if you're mounting a socket in a long-running application, then you're doing something really bad. And if you're using in your own application, if you're using third-party application that mount socket as a long-running process forever, stop using that. Kind of like stop the contract with that vendor right away. 3 levels.
Okay. So, probably not a bad idea to run this if you're administrating a cluster. I want to go back and grab a couple of comments here. And I had to migrate projects from Maven 1 to 2. That means I'm old. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of other comments about Garden and Gardener and all the other things. It's a good question here. How is it possible to be up to date with these millions of new projects and technologies in Kubernetes era? It's not possible.
It's not.
It's just not.
I mean, part of my job is to know those things. Part of my job. And I think that I have more time to spend figuring new projects out than majority of people, and I have no idea. Like Gardener. Yeah. I know that many people use it. I know it's a popular project. I still haven't, I still know nothing about it. So it's impossible.
Yeah. Okay. No, I got a couple. Difftastic. Have you heard of Difftastic?
No, what is it?
It's a diff tool that supports languages. It's not just a text diff, but it actually handles the text. And unfortunately, I didn't have... Or it handles the language, so it knows how to diff between the language.
I like that.
We might come back and just... Well, actually, I don't have anything set up to where I can do that. So Go, that will make you happy. Java makes me happy. And then all the other ones here, even PHP. Even Bash. Doing arrays in Bash.
You know what I would like? If this would be a Git plugin or something like that. Because most of the time when I run diffs is on Git, local, for example. Git diff. I want to see what I'm about to commit or what somebody committed.
So here's what it looks like. So here's a diff. They call it T. Oh, I guess you need to put an extra one because diff is a real thing. Before and after. So on the left is the app, or of course, which one is it? I can't see. But notice how it's calling these things out, right? It color codes it here, and that you see the different colors in green of where the changes really are. Versus if you just use diff, you would just see a line. or a plus minus. Here you can actually see the real thing.
That's actually really amazing. I still need it to be Git. How often do you create a copy of a file before editing?
Never. That's what
There you
Git's
go.
for.
Needs to be Git.
I was trying to see, could cite this repository. What is
That's
that?
new.
That is new. If you use this software in your work, please cite it using the following metadata. Yeah, that's
I
pretty
saw
cool.
Yeah.
And it is 144 contributors. It's Rust.
Yeah.
You ready to learn some Rust?
I should.
I guess I could have looked at languages and figured that out too, but that would have made too much sense. Anyway, Difftastic. Okay. I saw this post from Flant. I should know this. They were talking about DALL. DHALL. You've heard of this, right?
No. I mean,
No.
I think I heard, but
Yeah.
no,
I
I
hadn't
know
heard of
nothing
it.
about maybe hearing the name.
No. So basically, it's, and of course, you've probably seen this XKCD of, this sucks. Okay, now there's a new standard. So it gives you the ability to write your configurations as code. YAML, JSON. Yeah, the pause there. But here, let's go with it. Go with it for just a second. So was it this one? It was this one. So here's the array that I want to build. Magic Hand Wave, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So in DALL, I would create a DALL. I could use create an ordinary user and then have this list. So if you look at this, it's about the same length. Okay, no big deal. Now, if I wanted to add in an Alice, I would add in a new 5 lines plus a comma, probably, right? Whereas here, I just add in 1 line for Alice.
Okay.
So, and you can convert it to JSON, you can do YAML, and you can also do Bash, but Bash doesn't do everything. Oh, and XML, sorry. This article is really good and gets into the, I'm going to go down to the bottom. The whole purpose of this was to write Kubernetes manifest using DALL. You're being really quiet. But here's, let me get to the bottom though. Let me get to the bottom though, because this is where I do want to call this out. And again, this is Flant. Link to it will be in the description. Do some of the people agree that existing languages for creating configurations have flexibility issues? Yes. Right? They don't disagree with that. However, they still do not like the solution that DALL offers. As Andy Chu, oil shell programmer and creator, says, total languages don't give you any useful engineering properties, but a lack of side effects do. This is my favorite. This view is echoed by Earthly's Adam Gordon Bell, who thinks DALL is strange, even more strange than HCL, while HCL already has mindshare in the DevOps community. Because you had nothing else, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. We need to balance quality of something with adoption of something, right? I don't think that we should all use things that are proven and adopted by everybody always, but it needs to be a substantial reason why we are switching from, let's say, HCL to this, right? Q. I mean, Q is basically this, conceptually, and adopted by a significant number of companies, teams, stuff, projects. It's yet another language. Cool.
Yep. It is. Yeah, and they've got their own play space here, so if you wanted to test things, you could test it out here and just see how it renders out. So at least...
So, but this is a problem that I have with many tools, right? Like this is an example, right?
Okay.
Shouldn't you make an example that better demonstrates the value? right? Kind of
What-
like if
yeah.
I come to this, if this is my first, if that is my first contact with DAL, I would say there is absolutely no reason for me to go on.
Right, because if I look at this on the left, I can write that on the right.
Yeah, yeah. If you ignore the comments, yep, you have just more curly braces and commas.
Yep. Like here's one that's 39 pages to generate, 39 lines to generate 18 lines. Excuse me, that's not true. Forgive me.
Yeah, no, this is kind of some HTML madness.
Okay, whatever.
But it's,
So-
it's just kind of like, it's very important, I think, for all projects to actually spit out the value very, very fast. So that we get hooked to it and want to invest more time. I think a few episodes ago, I mentioned something very similar for Pulumi, which is a great tool, right? Depending on what your use case is and stuff like that. Amazing. But kind of you go to Quickstart and say, no value, right? Later on, if you do choose to continue, then you say, now I get it, right? But very late in the game.
And I don't know if this is D-Hall or DAL, so to the project people, forgive me, because I just realized it as I was looking at it. Now, they're up to version 22. They've had 26 releases, plus 26 releases. How far back does it go? Gabriel 439, how far back do you go?
To
2018. So
2018,
it's
there we go.
just shy of 4 years old. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this one more time. You can think of it as, okay, blah, blah, blah. Can you, okay, if this is my request to all project teams, put in a phonetic spelling of your, what your title is. Because I don't know if it's DAL, D-Hall, and make it near the top,
Creates-
right? Because it may
creates
be
a
at the
buzz.
bottom.
It's marketing. What is it? I don't know. It's DAL, deal, tell. We don't know.
Oh, here it is. Name. Say they
Excitement.
don't put it at the bottom. You've got it here. Thank you. But put it at the top. Okay. So it rhymes with tall, call, hall. So it's DAL. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for putting it here. And I still go ahead and apologize for butchering it at some point. Okay. So that's that one. Here's a project that I found right before I punched the go live button today. Redo. You want to take a guess on what this is?
I don't know. Undo what you did? No?
What would you... So which commands would you like to combine?
And then executes all those.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Creates the alias for you.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I like that. I very often go to history and then kind of like, hey, this one and then
Which
this
one?
one and this one.
Hit
It's
bang
cool.
6 or bang 9 and you figure out what's there. Yeah. So this is a literally brand new project, as in 7-8 hours
8
ago.
Man, you are fast. Okay, so now, Kyle, if anybody had any doubt how good you are at finding news, there we are.
There's no secrets to this. It's just
RSS.
RSS
no?
feeds from Reddit. Yep, that's all it is. And I watch a handful of different subreddits. That's all I do. There's no special sauce in what I do. Trust me, I'm not that important. People don't reach out to me. But anyway, redo. Brand new. Let's talk about Talos.
Tell us. It summarizes.
Or is
I
it
think in
Tal OS? I don't know.
No, I do know.
You do know this
It's
one. Okay.
Talos, Greek mythology, some mechanical robot-like type of creature created by gods. Talos. It's not Tal OS. At least I don't think it is. You're muted.
In case people didn't watch this, what was it about?
So it's operating system with Kubernetes baked in, right? So typically, when you create a VM, you install operating system, and then you install Kubernetes on top of it. This is operating system that comes with Kubernetes, which is awesome, I think, because conceptually, really, Kubernetes is supposed to be part of OS. It's kind of, they even call it cloud OS or distributed OS. It's immutable, which I really, really like. So think of it as immutable operating system for mutable infrastructure. How about that? So let's say you have bare metal servers, right? They're mutable by definition, but operating system itself is immutable. So every time you upgrade, you're actually bringing a new image in memory. And by the way, the whole OS is in memory. And then they just switch from one instance of the image to another when you upgrade.
Put this question up here.
OS.
Yep. Is it similar to K3S Flatcar?
K3 OS. I haven't used K3. I
look it
didn't
up.
even know that there is K3 OS. Really?
I'll look it up. Hang on. Yep. I'll share it. Hang on a
Okay,
second.
that's okay.
So there's K3OS.
Purpose to build to simplify Kubernetes lower. Yeah, I still don't know whether this is OS with Kubernetes baked in. If it is, then it's similar from that perspective. Yes.
Oh, it's from Rancher.
Oh, yeah.
Why use fast installation? You can boot up K3S available in under 10 seconds. Is K3OS what's under K3S?
I guess it's operating system with K3S on top. Probably.
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the other part.
So I haven't
it's-
tried it. The answer to
Yeah.
the question, I don't know. I don't know whether it's like that or no. I did get questions like, is it like K0S? It's not. K0S is actually Kubernetes that you install on top of a VM with an operating system. This is a whole image. It's Kubernetes OS, Kubernetes and OS.
Yeah.
Immutable, secure, no SSH access. No physical option to enable SSH access, even if you want to.
That's
What do
the
you
big
think
thing
about
to
that?
me. Yeah, I love that. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. So you can interact with it through an API, yeah, but no SSH.
It's literally an appliance
Yeah.
with an exposed API, and that's it.
Yeah. And then kind of like you bring up new nodes based on that same Talos image. You just
Yep.
joins the cluster. No configuration, nothing. You just create a new node.
That part I thought was really interesting. That's
Yeah,
magical.
It's magic. It's
Yeah.
magic.
A little scary magic, I think. But
Yeah, but ultimately, kind of like you need to have service. You need to have a mechanism that does that, and there is already inside. But ultimately, from operational perspective, if you want to scale up, create a new VM, and it figures out how to join.
this Sebastian has it's Linux with K3S, he thinks, on the other thing. But Flatcar is immutable, but only has Containerd, no Kubernetes pre-installed. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a big deal. And Ingen says he already watched it, suggested it for the project. There's already a cluster API provider for it. Or is there? Is that a
Oh.
question?
I think it's not official. It must be some of the repos. I don't think it's on Cluster API website unless that's changed. But then there are a bunch of projects that complement Cluster API.
I promised we'd pull up this new Grafana project. It just came out a couple of days ago. So it lets you scale to 1 billion metrics and beyond. This is a Disney movie. To 1 billion metrics and beyond. High availability, multi-tenancy, durable storage, blah, blah, blah. Sounds similar to PromScale.
Yeah, I guess no, but I'm guessing now. I haven't used it. That
Yeah.
Prometheus itself holds a limited number of days or whatever
Yeah.
however you count it of metrics. So I'm guessing that this is where they're going afterwards.
Yeah.
Because
So,
typically, if you need those metrics, you would need to ship them somewhere else. This is probably where you ship them.
Yeah. So looking at this, open source, horizontally scalable, highly available, blah, 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 for Prometheus. I wish they'd just say Grafana Mimir is for Prometheus, open scale, whatever. I don't know. Let's look at the YUs. 100% compatible, including remote write, PromQL, alerting. That's good. High availability through replication. I'll hold my thoughts on that for the moment. Long-term storage and fill in the blank. Blazing fast queries through horizontally scalable sharded query engine. We got that Web 1 stuff there. It's sharded. Remember the old what was the videos? Remember the cartoons were web scale? It was the cat, sort of like the Hello Kitty.
I don't remember. No.
It is not safe for work. Just go Google. I can't remember what it were web scale or something. You would find it. Lots of very interesting things, especially if all of this is in the open source side of things, because I did notice it's AGPL v3. So I can't go build my own service based on this, but I could use it for myself.
Kind of Grafana is one of those companies that I trust now by default.
Yeah.
I haven't used this. I haven't used all their projects, but everything I tried so far from Grafana Labs,
Just works.
absolutely amazing.
Yep. So right now they've got these three: OpenMetrics, Grafana Agent, and Prometheus. Coming soon, Influx, Datadog, OpenTelemetry, which we've talked a lot about, and Graphite. Ends up in there, and then all of a sudden you get all the other stuff. Here's your versions you can download, create free account, or enterprise.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Big list of people. Okay. So and there were
By
some new
the way-
videos that came out this week for it.
Next week,
Yes.
AMA Ask Me Anything session. We have
On Thursday.
Grafana, guest from Grafana.
Oh, we do?
I mean, officially K6, but K6 is now
Oh, right.
part of Grafana.
That's right. We are talking with
Nicole.
Nicole. That's correct. So that's on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. CET. I think that's
6
right.
p.m.
Yes,
No, 5 p.m. 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Yes, 5
5
p.m.
p.m. So that's K6, which is load testing. They got bought. We talked about when they got bought at some point in the past 2 years.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
long
remember
ago,
when.
yeah.
Not long ago. Sometime in the past 2 years. What else? Is that it? Do we have anything else?
Yeah, I think so. Nothing else comes to my mind.
Okay. We actually recorded a podcast yesterday morning. I will say
Yes,
what it was about.
yeah,
Yesterday was with OpenZiti. OpenZITI.
True.
There's some stuff there. If you haven't started looking at its zd.dev, in fact, I'm going to pull it up for all you people that actually have time to look at things on the side. Let me recommend you take a look at this. Just, I'm pulling it up. I'm not going to dig into it now, so you can see what it is. But there's a lot of different angles on this, and that podcast will be coming out, I think, sometime in May.
Indeed.
There's
Sounds impressive.
beyond impressive, actually. So that's a little tease for what we do have coming up. And we've recorded a bunch of other stuff too. By the way, Fourth Wall, I sent you an invite for Monday morning to record a couple. I don't know if you saw it yet or not. Yes.
I accepted it without even looking what it
Looking
is.
at it, well, that's normal. Goodbye, Cortex and Thanos. What do you think about that?
I don't know yet. I mean, I'm not even sure that they are doing the same thing, or maybe they are. I mean, Thanos is supposed to be when you need more than one Prometheus.
Right.
Well, this seems more to be oriented towards, hey, where do I store those metrics later?
Right.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding also.
And then, as David said, OpenPasta, thinking about the ZD stuff. Yeah, the
Yeah.
history of it was
Yeah,
was
exactly.
pretty interesting. Okay, you probably have a meeting that we should end up early, so you can take a break.
Top of the
So-
hour, yeah.
Why don't we do that? Thanks everybody for being here with us live today. We'll be back Thursday, 11 a.m., 5 p.m. Good grief, 11 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. CET. We'll be back next Friday. That's on the DevOps Toolkit channel. So if you haven't subscribed over on DevOps Toolkit, you should go do that. If you haven't subscribed here, you should do that before you leave. Click the thumbs up and do all the normal YouTube things if you don't mind. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching all the way to the end. And for everybody that is saying thank you for being here with us live. Thanks for spending an hour of your Friday with us. We greatly appreciate it. And we will talk to you again next week. And we'll see you Thursday and Friday. Podcast comes out on Wednesday. That's got to be it. Okay. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.